great job on the defensive backboards tonight. +8 on the boards. Thought Desi and Jimmy Witt were just awesome defensive rebounding the basketball. Thought Desi did a great job of picking and choosing when he was going to score the basketball. And obviously Jimmy Witt offensively tonight was just so good finding open gaps against the defense. And you know, he's a tough matchup for the opposition. They've got to decide if they want to play a taller guy on him or match him up with the guard. And you know, when a taller guy's on him, I think he does a great job of being able to use his quickness, you know, when that happens.
Question, Bob?
Yeah, Eric, Jimmy's your third guy to get 30 this season. What do you think that says about your team? How happy you're for Jimmy? Because he's a guy he's been a pretty good scorer through his college career, but he averaged 30 plus in high school, and then he finally gets 30 in his 5th year in college.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can have multiple people that are 30-point scorers, you know, people have to talk about those 3 guys that have had huge scoring nights, you know, from a scouting standpoint and a preparation standpoint. Jimmy is a very difficult matchup because he does not take any bad shots. He shoots a lot of shots around the rim or 12 feet in. What was the other part of the question?
Just, you know, he'd averaged 33 in high school, and he'd been a good scorer in college. I mean, my guess is his career average was around 13 or something, but for him to get 30 in college in his 5th year, how cool is that?
I mean, I think it's awesome that, you know, I mean, he trusted when he came here, he put his senior year and, you know, to come back here, and certainly, you know, we would not, you know, want to put him in this, he left a great situation, right? I mean, he was playing a lot of minutes at SMU. With a really good coach, a really good program, and so, you know, I'm really glad for him that this has worked out where he has such a prominent role. And the amazing thing is I didn't call one play for him tonight, not one play. And he just figured out how to find open gaps, and he catches it and releases it over people, and really efficient play, one of the most efficient players and unique players that I've ever coached.
Yeah. Reggie Chaney, perfect from the field and free throw line tonight, 14 points. Talk about
Awesome.
You know, his bounce back.
Awesome. You know, obviously last game we went with Scylla for stretches based on matchups, and Scylla's more of a 3-4 type guy. We played him at the center. Tonight we thought that, you know, one of our themes of the game was to try to get dump off passes, meaning you get by the initial defender, and then the guys work in the dunker spot to find an open gap because their big number 50 likes to come over and try to shot block. And I thought Reggie did a great job. Even Adrio, you know, he missed 2 bunnies that I thought he could have converted. So really, you know, in my eyes, we should have been 8 for 8 in that dunker spot. And then you add, you know, that Jimmy was around that spot as well. Just great activity with our hands ready in that dunker spot, and just kind of played behind the defense and let the defense try to rotate over for shot blocks, and then we found open gaps, and we made that little shovel pass.
One follow-up on that, looked like Reggie didn't hesitate tonight, and then a couple of offensive rebounds where he was aggressive. Has he turned a corner this week in terms of just kind of locking in and
Yeah, I
being
mean,
more aggressive?
he's been great the whole year. I mean, he shoots all the time. He's in the gym in off hours. He gets extra reps in the weight room. I mean, his attitude's been awesome. You know, but you just kind of play the matchup, and every game's got its own identity. I have no idea what's going to happen on Saturday as far as who's in the rotation, who's not. I got to watch tape and see which matchups we think might be favorable on who that guy is off the bench for us, so to speak. But certainly tonight, Reggie was awesome. Really proud of how he finished around the rim, and I thought he played with great intensity on the backboards as well.
Go ahead. You got 17 assists for Mason the last 2 games. Just thoughts on him as a distributor. Did you think he was maybe a little bit too passive at times tonight?
Yeah, I don't know how many people can read lips, but there was one point where I told him that I wanted him to shoot the ball and not pass up, you know, open jump shots. Sometimes he does that. He's got to be shot ready. You know, but to think that you can, you know, play a guy at the power forward spot and he's out running middle pick and roll, and we all know he's a great scorer, but you got to really credit him with his ability to find open men and be a willing passer, even though he's one of our premier scorers. So certainly really proud of how he did not force the issue. His shots were not falling for him tonight. But I thought Scotty, he did a really good job of feeding people, and he did that last game as well. And from a passing standpoint, tonight we had 206 passes total in the game. We were right around 115 in the first half, and obviously our goal is to move the ball with 200 passes. So I thought our ball movement was really good this evening as well.
Hey, Eric, I think they held Isaiah and Mason about 25 points under their combined average. So how big, given that, how big was Jimmy going off like he did? How big was that?
Yeah, I think whether it's you know, Arkansas putting together a game plan or one of our opponents, anytime you try to take something away, you give up something. In the first half, quite frankly, our defensive game plan was to not let number 0, Saban Lee, hurt us. And I don't think he scored a basket in the first half. So we overhelped, and we allowed what's his name to go off in that first half. Yeah, thank you. And then in the second half, you know, we went and played normal defense, and then Saban Lee went off. So tonight they did a great job of crowding Mason and crowding Isaiah, and that allowed Reggie to get some looks around the rim, and it allowed, you know, it certainly allowed Jimmy as well. Like they were switching when we ran, you know, double screens or double pin downs for Mason or for Isaiah, and when you overextend on your show or switch out, the slip guy was there, and that's what happened tonight, which is why Reggie and Jimmy had such good games.
Grant?
Yeah, that was my question about Evans. You know, did his name come up at halftime, and did they try to? How did you think they adjusted without Neesmith tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Stackhouse is, you know, I mean, he's in a tough spot. You know, when you have an injury, he's a really good coach though, and I think his minor league background and being in the G League, when you have a fluctuating roster, he's just going to keep tinkering. You know, he started somebody tonight that hadn't, you know, played much at all. You know, because he wanted to bring 0 Saban Lee off the bench because that's kind of what Lee's role has been. And Coach Stack is just, I'm sure, you know, I didn't ask him, but I'm sure he's just going to keep trying to tinker and you know.
You mentioned after the Texas A&M game, you had a guy in from the Bay Area, and he said it was the loudest atmosphere he ever experienced. On Saturday against Kentucky, do you think this is potentially maybe going to be the loudest atmosphere that you've ever experienced as a coach?
Yeah, probably. Hopefully we'll give our, you know, like it's up to your you know, it's up to the players to create the energy. You know, the crowd feeds off what happens on the floor. And so loose balls, rebounds inside, long rebounds, deflections, flying around and giving great effort. That's how you're going to get the crowd involved in the game. You're not going to get the crowd involved in the game if you don't play with incredible energy and effort. You can't walk in here and think you're going to have an incredible sellout. It's up to us to create the energy, and then hopefully, you know, between the crowd and us, something good happens. But look, Kentucky's an awesome team. Coach Cal's an incredible coach. They got dribble drive offense where they space the floor. They got 3 guards that are phenomenal. They got great length at the rim. We're going to have to play a perfect game. We're going to have to play an A game to give ourselves a chance to win the game on Saturday.
Final questions for Coach?